I'm gonna make pie crust. Bella's peeling the apples. And this is an old recipe. It is 2 cups of flour. Doesn't matter what cup you use, as long as you stick to 1 cup. Don't switch cups in the middle of doing it. And 1/4. So I never do exact. You see? And that's the flour. The flour that I happen to be using is King Arthur. And we're going to use a cup of Crisco. Kind of squish it in there too. And a pinch of salt. I love this Himalaya salt. I love that. It makes the food have really good flavor. Let's turn this way. Just a pinch, like I'd say there's a kind of lot in it. Just a pinch of salt. It's the size of a, say, a dime. And then I'm going to use, this is a brand new can. I didn't mean to open a brand new can. Hold on. And this is a, wait a minute, I'm doing something. Emergency. This is a little pinch of baking powder. I'll call it a teaspoon. I'll probably put a teaspoon in there. And we got sugar. Oops, sorry, Bella. This here is a raw cane sugar. Use a bag of that. Morena pure cane sugar. And I'll probably use a teaspoon of that. Just a little bit. I keep the bag in it so I know what it is. Because every time I like to have a, I'll tell you, anyone that uses jars and puts the stuff in it, I recommend that you should get a labeler. Somehow to label your jars, because it's a hassle once you put stuff in it to remember what you put in it. I'm going to stir this up. So that was the salt, the sugar, and the baking powder. Well, I'm going to put the and I put a couple, more than a cup. I just poured, you need a cup of cold water and you put that in the freezer. Now after you put this in here, you're gonna take a knife, you're gonna cut it. Just keep cutting. You're going to keep cutting it until it gets to like a pea size. Once the apples Bella's cutting. She got a doctor's appointment today, so she's home from school. And once this gets to be the pea size, which doesn't take too long, you're going to add your cold water to it. You take your water when you know you're going to make this and put it in the freezer. And these ingredients will be enough to make a top and a bottom pie crust. You can use it for, I use it for my pot pies or any kind of pie, my blueberry pie. And where I don't measure, it's never the same. Okay, that's pretty much that, and I'll stir it up a little bit to make sure I see anything big. Okay, now I'm going to add my cold water to it. Let me put this down here. And I'll grab cold water. I put it in the freezer. And normally what you want to use is a cup. And I'll show you how I do this. I usually like working with 2 hands. And I'm only got 1 hand because I'm doing this video. So we're gonna slowly add this in. See, I wouldn't have did it like that if I was in videotaping. I would have been stirring it as I was doing that. I'm just doing the outside of it because I don't want it to get heavy. So,
oh, the apple juice just got all over my neck. Gross. Feels all cold.
Alright, so now you pretty much stirred the outside of this. And so I wish I could hold the bowl and do this, but I just did the outside of it to get the flour as much as I can inside of it. And you keep your flour out because you're going to use your flour through this whole process. Now I'm going to take the spoon out. Like I said, you just really should have 2 hands doing this. Okay, so what am I going to do next is...
Mom, how many apples do you want me to do?
Keep going. I want a lot. You got to fill that pot right up because I want to do other things. The apples,
Can I eat the apples?
You can eat what you want.
Oh, good.
The apples that I picked are for storage. So what am I going to do now is try to freeze a couple apple pies for my son Kenny. He loves apple pie. And I love this. I usually fill this up to the top. This is my flour. It looks really kind of scummy right now because it's at the end. So I'm going to wash that and then I'll refill it. And I keep it filled because I swear always to have flour in your house. You never go hungry. When you're a mother, you got kids, it's dependent on you. Keep flour in your house. I tell my own daughters. Big thing of oil, big thing of flour, sugar, salt.
You gonna use this again?
No.
Okay, good. Because every time I use something.
So did you see how much flour I put in there? Oops. Hope I didn't shut that off. I put like this because I'm going to take this out of here. And now I'm going to just push it in here. You can see how it is. I didn't stir the middle. I only stirred the edges of it. So now I'm going to pour this in here. I feel like I'm talking to someone, not as like I normally am. I normally actually do it better than this. I feel a little nervous videotaping. But what I should have did was mixed it in here. That's what I normally do, but we'll just keep it one spot and I'm going to just gently fold it, and I never press very heavy. And I just keep pressing it. And you can see it's starting to form into like this. Now I'm going to press down, fingertips, try to keep my pie crust all together. And if you see my hands look scummy looking, that's because I was dealing with those black walnuts. And it was like putting that stuff for the floors. Shellac. It was like shellac in my hands. Okay, now I'm moving it around because you don't want it to stick. And you see how you got it like that? Now I'm going to get the rolling pin. And I'll start rolling it. And this rolling pin is a pretty fancy one. My daughter Patient got it for me. And I think she got it at, I can't remember the name of the place. It was a nice place. It's one of my favorite places. Expensive, but they get odd stuff, and I love odd stuff. Let me see. We got, it's going to be hard doing it with this. See how it's picking up on the rolling pin? I'm going to take a little bit and you can sprinkle it on it. And that will keep it from doing that. As I said, I'm a little nervous videotaping. I should have cut in half while it was still in that big ball before I even did it. And so now I'm going to cut it in half. So what am I going to do now? So if you're doing this when it was in that big ball, after you mixed it with your fingers like this, cut in half. But it didn't hurt nothing what I just did. But you just want to deal with the small pieces because you're going to take it and you're going to measure it as you're doing it. This really will show you the texture of it. You can see it. That's why I'm keeping up here so you can see what it looks like. Yours might look different than this. Mine's always looks different. I'm going to just do it like this with my fingers. Just to tell you, and if anyone don't have a rolling pin, I'll tell you what I've used for years. I used a glass. I took a glass jar and just rolled it with the glass jar. It's nice to have a rolling pin, but you don't have to have a rolling pin. Just use anything round. And I use those glass jars. That's why anytime I get something that's comes in a jar, you see how nice that looks? And you always treat it very gentle. Why am I lifting this up? Because sometimes the middle will stick. So what I'm doing, I'm going to throw some of this in here. So that don't stick. And I cook for my kids. I'm not cooking for other people, so I'm not trying to sell this. If I was cooking for other people, I'd have to do it perfect. You know, when your kids are eating it, they're going to be happy. And I don't care whose kids it is. Kids always love their mother's food, because that's what they grew up with. Unless you start taking them to restaurants, then you can't trick the kids no more.
Spell your name.
My name?
Yes.
B-E-R N-A-D-E-T-T-E. So we got this. That looks like it's close to being done.
It paused. Oh, never mind. It didn't.
Alright, so I'm going to put this over here. And I'll put this like this. I bend it. This is an important part. Bend it like that. Bend it like that. Remember where your middle is. Bend it like that. And then you can put it inside your pie crust and your plate. And then pull it out. Even if it's messy. I'm going to say, excuse me. Even if it's messy looking, don't worry about it. At least I feel that way. And now you can put your apples in it and you can trim it. And you know what I always do? I always let the kids have the trimmings. They re-roll it and they'll make their own little pies. And I got little small pie things that they can make. I'll show you. Like this. Like, you know, little things like this, and they can make their own miniature pies. It makes them feel good that they're cooking with you. So that's it. That's it. All right, well, I love you.